In 1300s England, the Black Plague had essentially wiped out the English working class, at that time called the serfs, which meant that workers were now in high demand by wealthy landowners. Serfs weren't allowed to work on other estates and they wanted this freedom. So they demanded better wages. This didn't sit well with the landowners, who tried to appeal to the state to prevent this from happening. Added to that, high taxes on everyone to sponsor a war that had been raging for 100 years, the working class rebelled, the University of Cambridge saw its library and archives destroyed, the Savoy Palace was destroyed, people associated with the government were killed, and in the end, serfdom was abolished. Hello, thank you for joining me for yet another video. It's me, Kyron. Long time no see, I know, but don't complain, I have a life. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, the video today is all about violence and property damage in times of revolt. You know, this has been something that's been a conversation for a while now, and a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about whether African Americans should be burning down buildings or attacking people or any of those things. And a lot of people think that it's just wrong.
Well, what you want to do is not necessarily what you're gonna do.
There was a time in my life where I actually thought that being violent really wasn't a good look for marginalized people, most of all African Americans, most of all Black people in general. I think we have a stereotype that we're not sophisticated, that we're unable to engage in a higher level of rhetoric, which is entirely untrue. But that was the stereotype that a lot of people had in their heads of people who look like me. So I used to think that the idea of being violent did more harm than good. It just didn't look good for us. It would not win allies for us. And I think a lot of people have that opinion, and it's an understandable opinion to have, because you say people are going to be afraid of you if this is what you're doing. It's not going to win you any allies. It's understandable. But at the same time, why didn't you become an ally when there were innocent Black people being killed by the police all along? Like, if you weren't an ally when those injustices were taking place year in, year out, generation after generation after generation, every couple of years there's something exactly like this. If you weren't an ally before, I feel like it shouldn't really matter right now. We're not gonna lose you because we never had you. In 1904 Rio, Brazil, the lower classes were dealing with diseases on all fronts. From tuberculosis to measles to smallpox, they were overwhelmed. To quell this, the government took it upon themselves to force their way into homes, infringing on individual rights. This led to people getting upset and looting shops, overturning trams, and general chaos. While it was a brief revolt, the state eventually realized that they needed to stop, so it was ultimately successful. You know, I find it deeply troubling that we expect marginalized people to act within a very specific way in order to express their displeasure, when their friends, their family, their everyday lives are affected by racism or bigotry of any kind. We suddenly feel that if they are unhappy with the way they're being treated, they need to go through certain channels. They need to act in a particular way. But my whole thing is, has that ever worked? How often has it worked that people acting in a civil way resulted in getting what they wanted? I feel like, yes, in a perfect world, people should be able to say something to their elected leaders and see something getting done. But the truth of the matter is, there have been the deaths of innocent Black people for so long and nothing has changed. So at this time, I don't think that it's fair to say because a couple people decided to loot or burn a building or fight with the police or whatever they do, I feel that those acts of anger are justified because they're angry. They're allowed to be angry after everything that they've been through.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
Now, this isn't to say that I do not have sympathy for people who are small business owners and happen to find out that their businesses have been looted and destroyed by BLM supporters or protesters or whoever. I do have a lot of sympathy for those people. I could only imagine if I were to like go to work or something and then come home and find my apartment entirely destroyed and everything taken away from me. I could understand being upset. But at the same time, I think that what nobody wants to do is address what BLM wants. I'm sure if people were to sit down and ask the leaders, ask the BLM supporters, ask everybody involved, what do you want? How could we fix this situation? I'm sure things would change. Instead, what we have are a lot of people who are reacting to the violence and are saying that they shouldn't be fighting and they shouldn't be looting and they shouldn't be doing any of these things. Of course, they shouldn't be doing those things, but innocent black people shouldn't be dying either. You know, and I will always prioritize the black lives or the lives of any disenfranchised group over property. I feel sorry for those business owners. I want to say that from, the jump. I feel sorry for them. I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that you deserve it. What I am saying, though, is that what are you doing as a business owner, as a member of your community, to see how you could help marginalized people? What are you doing? Are you writing to your congressman? Are you putting pressure on your governors? Like, what are you doing to ensure that these marginalized people who are justifiably angry are suddenly not going to be angry anymore? Because you have to understand that for African Americans, this has been intergenerational trauma. So they're upset, they're angry, and they're acting up now. If you want to get biblical, in the Old Testament of the Bible, God engaged in several acts of civil disobedience in order to free the Israelites, his chosen people, from bondage under the Egyptians. He destroyed the crops of the Egyptians. He killed the firstborn children of non-believing Egyptians. He destroyed their livestock, and there were a whole bunch of other plagues, all in an attempt to get what he wanted from Pharaoh.
Case closed. Next case.
Thank you so much for watching my video. I know it's been a while, as I said earlier, but I've just been really busy, and then time kind of just ran away, and what seemed like it was going to be 1 week became 2 weeks, became 3 weeks, became 4. But I'm back, and I'm hopefully going to be uploading a lot more regularly going forward. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things. Thank you so much. Tell me I'm a skinny legend. Oh! Bye-bye.